Hi, we're here at IBIE 2022 with Allied Bakery Equipment, and I have Stephen Bloom and Brad Winneman with me today. Can you guys give me a little bit of information about your booth today and what attendees can expect when they come to see you at the show?
Sure. Allied Bakery Equipment has been for 40 years focused on bringing basically new technologies to the industry. When people come to the booth, they will see some of those innovations. We have a thermal oil oven here baking. They can taste the bread that can come out of a thermal oil oven because you can't duplicate it with any other kind of baking technology. We're making pizzas that are truly Italian restaurant quality pizzas that can be made on an industrial line. We have Minipan as part of the group that focuses on two things. One is artisan bread production that does not use any extrusion, and they can reach a level, they can process a level of hydration that nobody else can and create a more open
Wonderful
structure that, frankly, if an artisan baker came and looked at the final product, they'd say, there's no way this was made on an automated line.
Right. So speaking of collaboration and partnerships, can you tell us a little bit about the bread and what you have going on in your booth to engage your attendees that come visit your booth?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we offer people, besides connecting them with the right suppliers and using our experience to guide them to the right suppliers, we also offer technology. The technological side, as the Europeans call it. In other words, the baking technology. And we have Brad Winneman here, who's our master baker. And he's the one that introduced us to Giant. So I'm going to let him talk about that.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to connect with Giant?
Sure. Giant, I got to know Giant through Instagram during the pandemic when we were all in lockdown.
Yep.
And all of us were all baking at home in Dutch ovens and, sharing all these different, our pictures of how proud we were of our bread. And Giant was doing the same thing. He worked at a small bakery in LA that unfortunately had to close because some employees there got COVID. So he lost his job. And he then said, you know what, I just want to, I'm bored, I want to start making bread again. And so he started baking out of the, pots, out of the Dutch ovens, just like everybody else was. And he started posting pictures on Instagram. And I started following him because the quality of his bread was so great.
So Giant, can you tell me your story about how you came to get into the baking industry?
Yeah, so after junior year of high school, I decided I want to not go to high school anymore and start working at the bakery near my house in Venice. I worked at Justa Bakery for like 2.5 years. And then the pandemic happened March 2018 and they were furloughing people. So I got furloughed, left my job and started baking at home for neighbors and friends. And then I started baking out of this old pizza joint that had closed because of COVID in Santa Monica. And they had this really old 2-deck Baker's Pride oven. And it was like 50 years old or whatever. And I was baking out of these cast iron pots, 20 of them. And I was burning myself out everywhere. But I was turning out like 20 loaves at a time. And I was doing like 5 bakes a day. So I was doing like 100 loaves.
Wow.
And the demand was just too much. So we were like, okay, how can we make more product? So we decided to invest in an oven. We got a Pauline deck oven, 5-deck bread oven. And now we're pumping out more than 6,000 pieces of bread a week.
Wow.
And it just kept growing. And now it's been 2 years and we're looking at bigger spaces and it's just kind of blossomed into a full-blown business.
What has been your favorite part about being at IBIE this year?
My favorite part is just seeing all of the bakers and the people who are so passionate about baking come together. I've never seen so many people in the industry before that are just so important to baking, and the equipment and the mixers and the ovens, just very impressive.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Giant. How can people find you?
So we're on 17th and Ocean Park in Santa Monica. The name is Giant Isaac Bread, my name, J-Y-A-N. And you can follow us on Instagram at Giant Isaac Bread.
Awesome. Well, be sure to come down to the West Hall at the Allied Bakery Equipment booth and try a sample of Giant's fresh baked sourdough bread.